Hey, that's right, everybody. It is that time again. It is drinks with Dee Dee.
And John.
Yep, but there's no drinks. There's bubbly water.
Bubbly water, yes.
Bubbly water. That's what we have because we're obviously
Driving.
and I'm not going to be looking in the camera very much because it's a dash cam, and it's just kind of I shouldn't. So we are headed back from New York. New York was a wonderful trip, a great time. The show was amazing, right? It was a lot of fun.
And you were wonderful.
Well, thank you. I'm going to have to hunker down so I get the camera here. But my gosh, what a world. What's been going on in the world the last 3 weeks is kind of staggering. Have you ever seen anything like it?
Not quite.
Not quite. Nothing like it. You don't want to do it this way, do you? You don't want to do this podcast like this. But the option was not doing a podcast this week. And so many things are happening in the world with all of the things that President Trump is talking about, all the things that President Trump has already done. A lot of people very, very happy about what's going on. And there's a couple of people who are not, but the roaches are never happy when you turn the lights on. They don't want to live under the refrigerator, but that's where they go when you turn the lights on. And that's what we're witnessing right now. I think we're seeing a lot of people who don't want to be found out, who never thought they would live in a world under an atmosphere where they could be found out, being found out. So guess what? Tough toenails.
Well, you're referring to, I think, mostly USAID, which we just found out they gave $20 million to Angelina Jolie to go and help promote Zelensky
and Ukraine. And Ukraine.
Ben Stiller as well, maybe $4 million. And Sean Penn,
$5 million.
I mean, this is taxpayer dollars, and they're paying celebrities. A lot of them make a lot of money.
Paid endorsements. These are paid endorsements.
Paid endorsements. Look, celebrities should.
Well, they gave what's her name $10 million, and she didn't even sing, right?
Right. Beyonce.
Oh, by the way, who won the Grammy for?
I don't think that was through USAID. I don't know. There's so much crazy money that was thrown around. It's a bit confusing.
Oh no, that was Kamala Harris' campaign bait her. Sorry about that. I apologize, but still, that's not album of the year.
But let's be fair. On a campaign, they can spend their money on whatever they want to.
True,
because they are donations. That is different.
But it's still a paid endorsement.
It's a paid endorsement, which is okay because it was given by donations. These people donate.
In Ukraine, you can do anything you want. You have the right to believe anything you want.
Taxpayer money.
Right, taxpayer, exactly. Go ahead.
So yeah, there is a difference. It being a campaign thing versus a government thing, where they're being paid to promote a war, or maybe not the war. We'll say Zelensky in Ukraine, but still, that is crazy money to be spent, and it doesn't end there. You've got all kinds of operas, shows.
Operas and shows and things and diversity programs in Peru and all over the world that our taxpayer dollars are paying for.
And countries from the south of it didn't want it. They wanted the money, but they didn't want to do the programs, but they had to do the program to get the money. It's crazy. And then...
But who got the other half of the money?
That's what Donald Trump kept saying. What is it with... There must be kickbacks. And it's crazy money. Then we just found out that 5,000 FBI agents were involved in January 6th. And they now have a lawsuit, and they have hired high-powered attorneys to...
Very expensive attorneys.
...out of it, so people don't know that they were involved with January 6th. The world's upside down. I mean, but thank goodness Donald Trump is president, looking into everything. And then there's Gaza.
We'll talk about that too, but here I'm going to get Dee on she's going to go crazy when I say this. What about Politico?
Right. Politico, funded by USAID. Politico is a left-leaning political group.
Left-leaning?
Unit source. a news source. Well, a news source is supposed to be fair. We know mainstream media really isn't. But for USAID, taxpayer money could be paying Politico to basically try to destroy MAGA, or at least be left-leaning. I mean, I'm be fair here.
I am much more fair than I am.
It's crazy.
Yeah, they paid taxpayer dollars were used for liberals to try to sink the conservative nominee or any conservatives who happen to exist in the world. Hello.
And I want to go back to the fact you mentioned a campaign, do whatever you want, because it's a campaign. That's what the money's for. People gave Kamala Harris money to campaign against Donald Trump. Okay, we know that's all out.
That's great. We get it.
This is different. This is taxpayer money going to fund political
agenda.
And a political agenda outside of the country, but USAID, it's to aid foreign countries, but it's not. I mean, maybe there's some aid, there probably is. There are probably some that slipped through, but boy, oh boy, oh boy.
They didn't get paid yesterday for the first time. They did not get paid.
They're going to go out of business. They didn't get paid. And it showed $8.whatever million to Politico.
Yeah, which does that mean that they have no other source of income? Do they only exist because of AID?
$8 million is a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
And supposedly they gave, or allegedly, although it all sounds like it's true, BBC, which is weird, New York Times, okay, they're clearly left. And then one other they mentioned, I can't remember. But anyway, using your money, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat,
right,
to destroy MAGA or to at least push the left-wing agenda.
Exactly.
It's insane.
And they're not even in the closet about it. We just also read that in a state or in an area of the state, and a state that's just been devastated by the wildfires that were, I believe, we talked about it last week, completely preventable, or at least containable much quicker, because the hands of all the firefighters were basically tied because they didn't have enough water. It was just terrible.
Ukraine had plenty of money, and the illegal aliens had plenty of money, but they're getting shipped out now. But these poor
but not out of Los Angeles. What did Gavin Newsom just do?
Well, he didn't want the water turned on.
No, I know, but he just promised $50 million at a time when his state is in ruin.
Just to fight Trump.
To fight Trump's illegal immigration deportation policy. What in the ever-loving hell is that about? I don't understand that. How can this person pretend to be a servant of the people, or someone who even gives a rat's ass about the state that he lives in? I have to fix this camera a little bit. How can that be?
Well, and let's go back even further.
Okay.
These poor people in North Carolina, say they're still intent. Are you kidding me? And they give Angelina Jolie $20 million.
You lost your house in Asheville, North Carolina. They give you $750. Thanks, Kamala. And then they give Angelina Jolie $20 million. Bet you half of the people watching this don't even have any idea who Sean Penn is. What in the hell? I just don't.
Political donation, do whatever the heck you want. Corporate, you want to hire a celebrity for a corporate event?
Bob's your uncle.
But not. You money. I'll check. This is your money. This is a little lady from Pasadena. Hey, to promote Ukraine.
Pasadena.
It probably has a cousin that had, a house burned down in Pacific Palisades. It's insane.
Right.
I keep saying it's insane, but
all it is. It's just insane. All the while, not redundant, comma, all the while the previous administration was all hot under the collar and talking about hiring 84,000, I think it was 84,000 new IRS agents who were prepared to use, I would call, excessive force. I forget what they called it. Basically prepared to shoot non-compliant people, right? So they're giving Angelina Jolie, they're giving celebrities millions of dollars of our money while they're hiring 84,000 people to come and get more of our money from us at gunpoint. That was the last administration.
That's terrible. They shouldn't have
My God, this is America.
accepted it. But look, Beyonce should have accepted that donation from a political campaign. That's what it is. It's politics, and that's fine.
Sure.
She should not have gotten a country music album of the year.
My God, no, it was album of the year. It's a Grammys.
But it was country music album.
I think it's album of the year from the Grammys.
I thought it was too at first, but
No. The Grammys give album of the year. They don't give a country music album of the year.
Okay.
They give. I believe I'm right on this.
well, regardless.
They give the Grammys encompasses all music. So they made Cowboy Carter, which is as far as I'm concerned, a CD full of demos at best. Really. I mean, it's not awful. It's not terrible. There's great music. I mean, Jolene is a great song. I just don't appreciate that it was rewritten.
I don't like any of it.
Dolly Parton doesn't believe. Well, no. Blackbird. I mean, I like. It's not about the music on the album. It's just about the album. It's about the product. It's not it. Anyways, it's not country. And now all kinds of people like John Rich and all these other folks who were all like quiet as church mice when I had my ass in a sling because I said something negative about it when it first came out. Now they're all heroes.
Well, now you end up being right.
No, but they don't care because they're all taking the credit for pointing out the fact that this is not a country album.
It's not a country album, and
It's not even a good album. I did see something funny yesterday. I saw they had a picture of George Strait in his cowboy hat and his guitar accepting the Hip Hop Album of the Year award. Now that's funny. That's funny. But you know what? George Strait would have the integrity. If they would have the lunacy to give it to him, he would have the integrity not to accept.
Of course he would not.
And, along those lines, we were talking the other day. Now, by the way, we're doing this because we're going on vacation, and we will not have cell service at all. So there. But, oh, hell, I interrupted myself. I did what you do, and I forget what I was the kind of music. Now, I'm not a hip hop. I don't listen to hip hop. Every now and again, you'll hear it somewhere. But it seems to me like the only music that is currently true to itself, and the only award folk or governing body that's not really a governing body, but I'll just go back to it. The music that is most true to itself and its roots and what it is hip hop.
You know a hip hop song when you hear it.
Yeah, you do. And they will not allow hip hop music or rap music to be, I'm going to use a interesting word here, I think, polluted by other kinds of music. They are true to their art form. So God bless them for that. I think that's great. And I do think if you want to try, what Kid Rock does is great. What Eminem does is great. But if you want to try a new kind of music, but don't put some machine behind you to have the world be force-fed the notion that this is the greatest music of its kind that's ever been recorded.
Yeah, but I think
Beyonce's Cowboy Carter is not a Patsy Cline album. Patsy Cline is country music. Dottie West was an in-your-face, kick-your-ass country music superstar who ventured out a little bit, but she never lost sight, because she was raised on Country Sunshine. She never lost sight or sound of her roots. So there. What are you saying, baby?
I think the issue is, in my opinion, the biggest issue is the fact that many feel in the country community that it was bought, that it was somehow influenced in the wrong way, and that the country community does not think this is a country album and complains about it, and they feel that Jay-Z or others bought votes somehow. I don't know how it works exactly, but a lot of folks feel that her success with this album was manufactured. I mean, look, she's done a lot of successful albums.
She's wonderful. She's amazing.
But on this,
But she ain't country.
the country album, many feel that it was manufactured. like, okay, well, let's pay radio stations and let's pay for votes.
Well, it used to be called payola. They used to do that all the time, but that supposedly stopped in the 80s.
Well, but I think they brought it back. Sounds
I think they did. I think they brought it back. And
an expert on it. So, but that is what I hear from the country folk, and we're on our way to Nashville, by the way.
Right.
They feel like something is wrong, that it is not true, that it is not genuine. It was an ungenuine one.
Well, and I think it is a slap in the face to genuine black country artists, of which there are many. So I think it's just not. I don't know.
Let's go back.
Let's go back to God.
Well, not that.
Well, that's going to be positive.
Yeah, it will be positive, but if you don't mind, I would love to back up to New York.
Okay.
We've been talking about it, but just to put the grand finale in the final show, John did so well and loved everyone.
I'm a ham.
And the first night he was not able to do it, he was missing it. I mean, he's so good on stage. Whether it's
the first night that Monday night this week was my first night of not having to go. Visit Brent.
And that's why we have.
And it's kind of it's hurt.
Up back here.
Yeah, we brought our Manhattan life with us. There it is, right back there.
And had a ball, and we had
going through withdrawals. That's why we're going on vacation. Sorry, baby.
Nobody gets mad when you interrupt me. I'm the one that gets in trouble for some reason. But that's okay, because I'm not interrupting you. I'm being very careful. Not that I do what other people say, but we do one.
Yeah, right.
We do.
Could you fix the camera a little bit while I'm driving?
You want me to fix it?
Well, I don't want to fix it while I'm driving, because I would yell at me for that.
See, I'm just like, what? No.
You're not making it worse.
I am.
Take a tissue or something. We're going to keep... We are.
Yeah, swear.
What I want you to do is I want you to take a napkin out of there, roll it up, and put it behind this camera. Roll it up. No.
Well, I told you.
Roll the napkin up and put it behind that camera. So that the buff, that's what I just said. You go back and look at this podcast. You'll say, oh, that doesn't work. You're just going to have to hold it for a second. I can't grab it right now. It's illegal. I cannot touch that phone.
Yeah, I told you it's going to work out.
Well, I think it's great. I would like to watch this.
I bet. Mm-hmm. I'm sure everybody's loving it.
Yeah. So, New York was great.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoyed every minute of it. There we go.
Better?
The show, Perfect Crime, was great. You were saying wonderful things about me, so I'm sorry I interrupted you.
We had a lot of friends and fans come. Many of them came more than once.
And family.
Yes. Brother Bob came.
And Susie.
Yes.
It was grand. It was wonderful. Our friends Chance and Susie. At Gracie.
First Lady of Sanford, New York, and Mayor Bob.
That's right.
And other elected officials and other dignitaries. We had a ball. We had a really good group come in and be supportive. And it wasn't just a musical. It was a straight up play. So it was a challenge.
That's right. It wasn't a musical. It was a straight up play.
Only 4 people. And John was the dad.
Wait a minute. 4 people and John? Am I not a people?
I said there were only 4 people in the play. John played the dashing detective, one of the 4. And he was really, you're only the only good guy.
I mean, yeah, I was the only.
The rest were like killing people and smashing people.
Of maiming these, and yeah, it's a really good show.
It is, but you didn't really do anything like that. You did one bad thing. That's okay.
That's true.
Yeah, only one.
But I think it was a ploy.
I do too.
Yeah, part of my job.
I think you were like Columbo.
Like Columbo, and we're actually there was a screenplay written about the movie, and we have that, not about the movie, a screenplay for the play. The original, the man who wrote the play. I'm not sure if he wrote the play first or the screenplay. We'll have to find that out. But anyway, it was a great, great time. If you are in New York, please go see our friends in Perfect Crime, right there on 50th Street. 50th Street across from Wicked. So if you say it's on 50th Street and Broadway, it's a little tough because there is a door for the theater, but that door is usually locked. So it's on 50th Street, right across from Wicked.
The side door is on Broadway.
Yeah, the side door, which is kind of the main door, that's where the elevator is. But speaking of elected officials, which I think somehow we got that in there. Somehow, people are giving Elon Musk a whole big ration of crap. This man knows how to, and speaking of him, there's the Cybertruck. This man knows how to run businesses efficiently.
He's like the richest guy in the world. AOC is saying this dude.
Oh, what a moron.
This dude is so unintelligent.
This is the dumbest billionaire I've ever met. Oh, well, yeah, like somebody's going to take your opinion. AOC, for crying out loud. This woman
things to say, and all the things for her to say about Elon Musk, that really does take the cake.
Yeah, what on earth was she thinking, if anything, when she said that? And I'm sorry, just, talking like, who will use the word dude all the time? Whoa, dude, what? Oh, that was Sean Penn from, wasn't that Sean Penn and Ferris Bueller's Day Off, right?
No, not Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Spicoli.
Whatever the heck the one.
We'll think of it.
Anyway, see, I don't know who Sean Penn is right now. But he's worth $5 million to go to
Ridgemont High.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Thank you. But anyway, so they're giving their the only people who panic when the truth starts to come out are those who are lying.
They don't want the truth to come out.
Right? They don't want the truth to come out because it will affect their I'm going to say it, cinchy jobs. And I'm not saying all government workers have cinchy jobs, certainly not. But there is a lot of government waste. There's a lot of fat on that steak. Okay? And it needs to be trimmed.
Big time.
Because it's our money. So if you are going to threaten to take my hard-earned money away from me at gunpoint, the only reason I wouldn't want to give it is because I want you to be accountable for how you're spending it. And we collectively needed to be accountable, or them to be accountable, for how they were going to spend it. And now we're finding out that not only were they threatening to take our money at gunpoint, but they were giving celebrities millions of dollars, collectively probably hundreds of billions of dollars.
These poor people are living in tents, have some money, lost their homes in North Carolina, in Tennessee, and in California.
Who are all taxpayers.
And they don't deserve.
They're all taxpayers.
The government's number one job, in my opinion anyway, is safety. Safety, law and order, and if natural disasters, these types of things, the basic needs. We don't want the government in our lives to tell us how to do things socially.
We are not here to work for them.
Needs. If you have a wildfire, flood, that is when the government needs to come in. If we get attacked by another country, that is the number one priority.
Yeah. Yep.
Basic needs and safety.
We just
this other stuff.
We just heard the new Attorney General.
Pam Bondi.
Yeah, Pam Bondi. We just heard, part of the oath is you're to protect the Constitution, which means us also, by the way. We are the Constitution, I think, against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Well, we have been being attacked by enemies domestic for the last 4 years. I mean, without question. And
well, for Chuck Schumer and company to be losing their minds out on the street, talking about like a hostile takeover, because Donald Trump's wanting to get rid of or cut down USAID funding on these crazy programs when we've got folks, homeless veterans, people living in tents, people in true need, but instead the illegals are getting all the money, but they're getting shipped out. Celebrities are getting paid tons of money, millions of dollars, to help promote Ukraine. And money, these are places the money should not be going.
So what they're doing is, or what they did, thank God they're not doing it anymore, is they endorsed celebrities with taxpayer money so that the celebrities would endorse a war or an event
I think we had
that showed it.
about that.
Well, there's not the
Story
war.
of Zelensky in Ukraine in general.
No. Yes, but you have the right. You have the right to emotionally or financially support anyone you want. Absolutely, but they don't have the right to take it from you, especially when it appears that those who are writing celebrities a check to go to Ukraine to help promote the necessity of the United States' involvement in Ukraine, those very people are getting kickbacks from the money we are sending to Ukraine.
Well, that's the next level.
This is absolute graft. This is jailable. If you do it or I do it or you do it, we're going to jail. But not if they do it. Why? Because they are the government, or they were, because they did not get a paycheck yesterday. They were the government feeding itself at the expense of the people they are supposed to protect. That's why I got into such a rant and rave about the whole Biden thing, because what he was doing, I believe, was refusing protection. You can't yell at somebody for protecting you feel incorrectly or not enough. But you can yell at somebody and call their activity treasonous if they refuse to do it. These folks refuse to do their job, which I believe Dee Dee's right. Their number one job is to protect us, right? Because I've never said that before, but I believe we are the living, breathing Constitution of the United States. We, you included. We all are. They need to protect us. They don't need to line their pockets, Nancy Pelosi.
Oh, and then what about the train?
Oh, what about the train? God, you talk about the train.
So, President Trump was just talking about more ways and about the train, the supersonic train, the fast train, the train that never really happened.
The last train to Clarksville.
Yeah. Supposedly was supposed to be LA to San Francisco. Then they shortened it, and it ends up the money.
What, Reading to Reading?
Right. So it ended up that, we're talking like $20 billion. It's crazy money. I don't remember the exact number, but
it's in the billions. No, I think it was 100. It was a huge number.
Terrible. So they're saying now that Nancy Pelosi's husband somehow bought the property with grants.
And 3 times, and sold it.
And then sold it to developer, and then the developer sold it to another developer, or somebody kept changing hands.
Well, grants were involved in, I think, all 3 of the sales.
So that means taxpayer money paid for that. Not once, not twice, but 3 times, and it's not even...
And there's still no train.
Boy, that's really terrible.
That wonderful book we read, we're not going to get into this whole thing about Lincoln, but there's that when government subsidies are used to fund internal improvements, it sounds like a great idea. But you can bet that somebody like Pelosi's husband is getting the lion's share of that money. Lion's share may be unfair, but if you're talking about $100 billion and you get...
Well, $1 billion is a nice,
1 or 2% of that, like this moron we heard said, Elon Musk could cure world hunger with only 2% of his net worth. You know what he said to them? He said, give me a plan, write it down, and I'll start selling things to pay for it. Crickets. Nothing. They didn't hear a thing. He didn't hear a thing from them.
Super smart. We're so lucky he's involved. We're so lucky he is interested in doing a fabulous job. But who would ever know the USAID was funding by the billions these crazy projects where it looks like there are all kinds of kickbacks? This is what gives politicians a bad name. And
they say 99% of politicians give the rest of them a bad name.
No, there are a lot of good.
I know there's a lot of great politicians.
There's a lot of great elected officials.
But you know, we have a lot of great business people in politics. That's what we need. Sometimes somewhere along the road, not all, many politicians forget that they are people. They forget what it was like to be a person
Well, that's the
who didn't like potholes in their neighborhood. Explain that.
Politics is the business of the people. That's what it means.
The business of the people.
So you're supposed to take care of your constituency and your people. And in fact,
Primarily.
yes. So I will say, one of our home senators, Todd Young, boy, he was just really getting scored because he said he wasn't going to vote for Tulsi Gabbard. Well, remember, Indiana is bright red. It's like Trump with 20% on top of that, 20 points. Very, very Republican. Everyone in Indiana, well, can't say everyone, but the Trump states want
The majority of people in Indiana
want to support President Trump, which means we support his cabinet. So Todd Young just said, all right, buddy, you're going to get primaried. I read it over and over and over again. You're going to get it. And he might get primaried anyway because he's really not as conservative as Jim Banks.
Now, what does that mean, get primaried?
That means a Republican runs against him in a primary.
Oh, okay. All right.
So if there's a very conservative Republican who's popular, and there are many in Indiana, and he gets a primary opponent, he could lose like Dick Lugar. Now, a lot of you don't know who that is, but this was someone that was there a long time, like an institution, and he was beaten because he was a conservative and he forgot his constituency. Your constituency, you have to pay attention to what they're saying. Now, to Todd's credit, he did change his mind, but I'm sure it's because everybody kept saying, you're out, buddy. You're going to be out, and he would have been. I don't know now. I mean, we'll see. But I will say, Jim Banks across the board, the other U.S. senators, very, very, very conservative military. Well, and Todd's military as well. But that Tulsi Gabbard statement made it very clear where at least Indiana is there for Trump 100%. And if you're not, get out.
Right. Hey, speaking of a lot of that, how wonderful was it to see Exeth and Holman and Nome all at the border?
Yep, that was great.
My God.
Now I'm going to go back to Kristi Noem because I wasn't criticizing her the other week when we were talking about she was 2 hours late. I'm just saying it takes a minute, even for someone as beautiful as she is, to get it together. Like give them a mini glam squad.
But she was there at the border on horseback. On horseback, by God.
Beautiful hat, beautiful hair, beautiful outfit. I mean, she's just a model. She's a model.
She's amazing. But to see those
and
people...
he does a great job on top of that. It's not like...
Can you try again to just make it so they can see the top of my head? Just a little bit. I mean...
Touch anything electronic.
It messes up.
Yeah.
But what I so appreciated about that is that, what's his name? Mayorkas.
Oh, no.
I don't think it was ever down there. Maybe, did he go? I don't know.
And what
I went to the border.
What about the borders?
Yeah, here's some pictures of me at the border, in Yuma. So, but anyway, what a wonderful picture of, unilateral agreement. What a wonderful picture of support. What a wonderful picture of the team we now have and President Trump is putting together to do the job, to get the job done.
What a great cabinet. What an all-star cabinet. And hopefully, not everyone's in yet. Kash Patel is one I think he will be wonderful, and I worry a little bit about him because they seem to really have a problem with him.
Well, they're most afraid of him because he's the one.
He'll go,
and his arm the switch.
These are all the FBI guys that were involved in January 6th. 5,000.
Right, yeah, who are saying, by the way, basically what they're saying is that in the interest of transparency, we don't want anyone to know who we are.
They're saying they worry about their safety and their family's safety. Well, boo-hoo.
They didn't worry about this. What about all the hostages, which is what they were?
Run on January 6th.
They weren't political prisoners. They were hostages.
They were taking selfies. I mean, they were...
It's the instructions of the Capitol Police, by the way.
But with 5,000 FBI agents there, I mean, that was shocking. So
I don't think that means that there were 5,000 FBI agents there. I think it means
they've been involved.
they're been involved since as well. Their only job as an FBI agent has been to make sure that innocent people stayed imprisoned. That's been their job. Congratulations. Congratulations. There. Tell your grandpa that was your job in 2000.
So some there, you're right.
Was it 1, 2, 3, 4?
Much smaller number that were there that day, but then they've been involved in, I don't want to say harassing the different people, but they have been questioning them.
Oh.
And there was one that
They
said,
arrested some like a month ago. Sorry, go ahead.
no, but there was one gentleman that said they kept trying to force him. He said, I'm not selling my soul. I don't care if they wouldn't give him any food or the right food. He lost a ton of weight. He was sick. They kept transferring him.
Oh, that's right.
Transferring him to different prisons. And this was a guy that was at January 6th. You're going to make the people go to prison? But they did.
Yep. And, there's no telling what we're going to uncover. But that's still a big question for me. My big question about January 6th, other than why were the people, if you're not supposed to go in the Capitol, then why were people being
allowed in?
Docented in? A docent is a person, I don't know if that's the right word, but being not only allowed in, but invited in. But the big question for me is, Donald Trump was still president up until that time, and he requested 20,000 military to be there, and Pelosi said no. So why would you, here we go back to, refuse protection unless you have some ulterior motive? Pardon me for applying common sense to government, but we aren't. And then call them terrorists and traitors and terrible people. My God, enemies of the state. It's just absurd. So finally, we're getting to the bottom of that. And I hope that, you know what I think is going to happen with that? We talked about this in New York. I think what's going to happen to that, they too are lawyering up because, the lawyers are smelling that there's a buck here. Nothing against all lawyers, but, the lawyers are. I don't think these people need to be lawyered up. I think at some point, if there is a point person for the January 6th people, that a representative of Donald Trump or Donald Trump himself are going to call up and say, look, I know what you're doing, and I know, and it's noble and it's all that, but you don't need to, because we owe these people reparations. We absolutely owe these people reparations, and we are going to give them something. It's not going to be $750. My God, you destroyed their lives. I think that the United States of America, the Donald Trump presidency, is going to give something, not because they are forced to, not because they lose a legal battle, but because it's the right thing to do.
And let's also be fair to the very, very good FBI agents. There are many, in fact.
Oh, they're wonderful.
My good friend Amanda was married to FBI agent. He just retired, not anything associated with that. But great guy. I've known a lot of great FBI agents, still do.
Absolutely.
Not their fault.
There's a lot of great Capitol Police.
That's right.
We don't have a lot of time, so I have a tendency to speak in gross generalities.
No, but there are people serving their country, and they put their lives in danger. FBI is one of them, and we're Capitol Police, part of that group too. So we thank you for that. But and also here's the tough part: if your boss says you need to do this, well, it's like, will you quit or you do it? So many of them were put in terrible positions. But it's good for all of this to be looked at, investigated, so it doesn't happen again.
We need to turn the lights on and see what happened. See what in the hell happened. And if you're afraid, we just heard, I can't remember who that gentleman was. He was from Texas, I believe. But if you have a problem with someone with Kash Patel turning the lights on and investigating your office's actions or your individual actions or your collective actions, then that already smells bad.
But FBI
Don't look here.
FBI and law enforcement, they're different than the celebrities that got paid, because they absolutely do put their lives on the line.
And we completely support law enforcement. We completely support the FBI. We completely support any law enforcement, any firefighters, anywhere.
So you can't understand why they're like, look, we want to remain anonymous. Our family, we're worried about them, worried about ourselves, but then what about J6? So so one-sided. But, I think about like that one agent, several agents, they were just doing their job. And it's like military. Remember, like, what was the movie with Tom Cruise?
Top Gun.
No. Jack Nicholson. You need me on that one.
Oh, yeah. A Few Good Men.
Yeah, and that poor kid. I mean, this is a bad example, but I sort of see it this way. That poor kid, they went in and they didn't mean to kill the guy, but they were harassing him. Remember, they called it a word where and he ended up choking and dying. So he's like, well, we didn't do anything wrong. We just did our job. And then the other soldiers said, we actually did. We were there to protect, So they're in a tough position.
Yeah.
It's the USAID that makes me crazy, with all the money given and whenever these
There's no excuse for that. There's absolutely no excuse for frivolously spending, or as some would say, wasting our taxpayer dollars.
Billions, whenever people are living in tents.
Yeah. So people are saying, well, how, that's going to cost so much money to...
We don't have any family money, really. We but you gave $20 million to a celebrity?
And you got $50 million you're going to spend to keep Tom Homan and President Donald Trump and Kristi Noem from coming into your town and getting rid of the bad people? Why would you do that? I'd love your comments. Why? Somebody give me one good reason, and I'll read it. I mean, I've changed my mind a lot. Give me one good reason why it's okay to spend $50 million of your state's tax money on protecting people who do not legally, officially live not only in the United States, but in your state, when you just lost, I don't know how many thousand homes. Give me a reason. Gavin, give me a reason. I can't figure out what it is.
Yeah, raising money. Now, where's that money going to go? Now that it seems like everybody's taking money off the top.
Yeah, be very, very careful. I mean, because there are people out there now who are vultures on a fence. I said a bad thing about lawyers a minute ago, but there are people who are on the fence now waiting and baiting people to give to some Save California, rebuild California after the wildfires fund. Be very careful.
And it could very well be the political fund against Donald Trump, which is political. So you do have to watch.
Well, I'm going to probably get my tail in a crack here, but I remember someone following the trail of donations to, not all of them certainly, but there was an organization, let's just say there was an organization 4 years ago, 5 years ago, that raised a lot of money, and a bunch of that went to the campaign to get Joe Biden elected. I'm not going to say the organization, but the organization is still around. You don't hear about it that much anymore. But when you followed the money, what was it? All the president's men. Follow the money. Follow the money. A lot of that money led right to the coffers of the Biden-Harris presidential campaign.
Boy, this USAID, and that sounds like a broken record, but boy, oh boy, is that a broken system?
Well, maybe Angelina Jolie will get Kamala Harris out of debt and give her the $20 million back. I mean, she believes in her candidate so much. She believes in that the world would be a better place and the United States of America would be a much safer, more prosperous country if only she was president.
She's not the one who got the money for it. That was Beyonce. She got the money from
No, $20 million.
That's fine. Angelina Jolie got money to go to Ukraine.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah. So still, you're saying it should come. I get you. Yeah.
I'm just saying there's a very big difference in the pots we're talking about.
I understand that.
Yeah, but they want to make it murky. They want to make it's kind of like the train deal. So it's this pot, and it moves over to this developer. Then this developer pays that developer. So it's basically money laundering. Like if you use a bunch of bank accounts or use a lot of...
Well, you write a check to another account, and the check goes to that.
Everywhere, and you can't trace it. So that's what they're doing. Or that...
People do that.
That's what it seems. They're going to wind out because Elon Musk and Donald Trump or President Trump, they're going to look like they're going to Pam Bondi. They're going to figure it out.
They are turning over every rock. They're turning on every light. And if you don't like it, too bad.
There's always Mexico.
Too bad. There's always Mexico. There's always.
And by the way, they are cooperating now, at least for the short term. And President Trump gave them more time to try to put things together for the tariffs. So that will be...
Everybody's cooperating now, which is really fantastic.
Now, you do have the Chuck Schumer and Maxine Waters screaming out in the streets about Musk is not elected. Well, there are a lot of people that work in government that are not elected because the president and others they're appointed as political appointees, that many of them are going to go away because it's government waste. So yeah, don't worry about them because a lot of the old ones are leaving that have been given an opportunity for a buyout.
And Chuck Schumer is just pathetic. I mean, he's still acting like he is the majority leader.
They've not figured out they lost yet. I don't think they.
Isn't that sad?
I don't think they figured out they've lost yet. It's like the guy in the Letterman. Like he was like the big football star in high school, and he moves on, and he still thinks he's that guy.
Well, they did an amazing.
The top.
Saturday Night Live did a thing years and years ago where Star Trek was canceled, and William Shatner was on it. I don't know if he was on it or somebody plugged it. I don't remember. Because I don't know if it was actually Shatner. I think it was Shatner because he's funny, and he refused to believe that Star Trek was canceled. He would not get out. He would not remove himself from the bridge, even though the bridge was like plywood and paper mache.
It's like the guys that are like 40, 50 years old still wearing their letter jackets from high school. They can't accept it.
Well, you can't see my.
Oh no, it was
because I don't have one from college because I didn't go.
It was like Uncle Rico in Napoleon Dynamite. Oh, I love that movie, and John does not, but I think it's hilarious. He's talking about the football.
Yeah, oh yeah, the foot. Yeah, there's
the football because he was so great at it.
Great movie is our championship season, which people keep talking about. It's fine to talk about the good old days, but Chuck, you're embarrassing. You're embarrassing. You're really already embarrassing political party.
Well, it's sad and embarrassing when you don't realize your power's gone or your position. You've been replaced.
What does it say? We will not give up. We will not.
We will win. We will win. We will win. It's like,
what do you? The fight's over. The stands are empty. They are trying to remove the squared circles from the auditorium, and you're still in there in your Speedos. Because I guess he hasn't woken up. He hasn't woken up from the mat yet. You didn't need Chuck Schumer in Speedos yet. Sorry.
That visual.
But he's still on the mat. The referee counted 1 million, and he still doesn't know the fight's over. So embarrassing. So embarrassing. But we're doing the things. Great things are happening now. I think it's an interesting notion that that Gaza may be a United States territory.
The Riviera.
The Riviera of what did he call it? Excuse me.
I don't think it's the Arab Riviera, but
Arab Riviera. But anyway, it's
Middle Eastern Riviera. I don't know, but basically saying that he wanted to turn it into a beautiful development because that's what Donald Trump does. That's what President Trump does. He is turned
developer
many, many places that had nothing there into beautiful development. So I think it is a grand idea.
I think it's a grand idea. I also think it not only gives us a presence there and whoever else wants to get involved.
It's so smart.
Strategically, it's great. And it also, poor Israel is surrounded by people who want to kill them.
You got to respect Israel.
Yeah. My God.
Everyone serves in the army. Everyone, they're on alert. They are warriors. They have to be.
They've lived every day. And what President Trump said yesterday was so great. He said, because you got to think about timing. Because I read some bullshit. I'll say it. I read some bullshit thing today that said that Trump wants to remove the people from Gaza. Well, there is no Gaza right now. It's like people wanting to return to the Twin Towers. There are no twin towers.
Sean, how do you say? I mean, it just smells of death.
Yeah.
Because there are dead bodies there. It's sad that it's sad that that's the way it is. But you can't even compare. You can't even.
In 1863, 1864. I might have my date wrong, my year.
And the South had to rebuild.
But he wants to, with no help from the North, by the way, Reconstruction, look that up. It was not good. But what he's saying is, let's get people together and let's create a wonderful place. Because there's two things on the table here. Create a wonderful place because the people who used to live in Gaza have no place to live. It is war-torn. It is destroyed. They can't go back and live there later today or later this year. It's like you can't go to Pacific Palisades and live in that rubble. You have to rebuild. So where are you going to go in the meantime? And I'm not saying displace them and have them move back. No, he's saying, look, these people need to go to a place where they can live and they can raise their children without fear of being killed every day of their lives.
And why not help them?
What's wrong with that's one of the more humanitarian things I've ever heard anybody say.
And guess what? We do that. American Samoa, American territory. Puerto Rico, American territory. Guam, American territory. Well, why not have it at least partially American? I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I don't know if we talked. We were talking. I don't know if it could be a shared territory. But, if there was
well, territories are different. I mean, than it being part, like U.S. Virgin Islands. So we could do that.
But we need to make it in the best interest of the people who ate Israel to not attack the Gaza Strip ever again.
Agreed. So if they get a little buy-in, maybe somehow, but Donald Trump is so good at the art of the deal.
My God.
He knows what to do.
If you haven't read that book, please, if you don't like Donald Trump, or if you do like Donald Trump, like we do, and you haven't read Art of the Deal, read it. It's amazing.
But anything's better than when it is right now.
Well, everything's better with Blue Bonnet on it.
Right now, it's just tragic.
It is tragic. It's awful, and we have a president who is
trying to be
leading not only with power, with the tariffs and all that stuff, but he's also leading with incredible intelligence, incredible strategy, and I'm going to say this is a president of the United States who is leading not just with his heart, but with our hearts, because we want to help these people, but we don't want to just, it would be stupid to throw money at the Gaza Strip.
This doesn't work.
Yeah, it just happens time and time and time again. So, is the land cursed? I don't know. I don't know that I believe in cursed land. But there's definitely a need to, as Netanyahu said, think outside of the box. We can't keep doing what we've done before because the results have been the same, and the results are death. We can't do that anymore. And we finally have a president that says, we're going to take steps to not only make this so it's a safe place, we're going to make it one of the most beautiful places in your region. And there's only, as far as I'm concerned, there's only one man that can speak to that, and that's Donald Trump. And how wonderful was it to see Benjamin Netanyahu in there, not only in the joint press conference, because that was planned, but in the kind of impromptu press conference when President Trump and Prime Minister Yahoo were sitting there about to have their meeting, they let the press into that too. So that turned into a press conference. Well,
they let the press into the White House, and I believe, and then they did the press conference in another, I think it was Oval Office, and they went to another room.
But the press was asking.
Twice, they got 2 hits.
Right. So the press corps were asking Donald Trump, President Trump, questions that they could have asked him something that maybe, the Prime Minister of Israel shouldn't hear this. He shouldn't be privy to this. No, this was such a public exhibit of solidarity, right word?
And transparency.
And transparency, something the likes of which we'd never seen before. Well, we're going to see a lot of it.
I mean, the only funny one was when you said, well, you don't know about that. What do you know about that?
That's funny. Just he was. It's like, who is this guy?
I don't even know. What do you know about that? And it wasn't Peter, wasn't it?
No, well, not Peter.
And then, of course, the first thing that President Trump said in the official press conference with Benjamin Netanyahu is, "You're a popular guy. Look at all these people." Right? So he's
attributing
it was
that to Prime Minister Netanyahu. And you can just tell that he's so relieved to have Donald Trump there now because finally an ally again.
Exactly.
And we are. United States. We are allies too.
We are allies, and we do what we say. We keep our word. We are once again a country of our word. Well, he is our representative to give our word globally. And I am perfectly happy with that. I love, as I said, about the team that we saw with Hegseth and Holman and Noam at the border. We're seeing that in the press conference. President Trump made sure that J.D. Vance, Vice President Vance, stood up, made sure everybody saw that he. I mean, it's just we have a group that not only knows each other, but they like each other, and they want to do well by us because they are proud to be American citizens. They are proud to be America's representatives, not only in America, in the United States of America, but globally. And now we have the Gulf of America. Changes every day. And I personally think changes for the much better, not only for us who are fortunate enough to live here, but for those who are abroad. They'll be able to sleep better tonight, knowing that the United States of America is no longer a global embarrassment.
We did on time.
We got 1 minute. Got 1 minute.
Well, I will tell you that John and I were both in Winchester, Virginia yesterday. Beautiful, so beautiful. And apparently, I guess that place is where the Civil War went back and forth like 70 times or something.
Yeah, because they said the center of town is like a wagon wheel.
Yeah, right in the middle of everything. So, but wow, what a gorgeous city. George Washington lived there, so that's pretty cool. And the Confederacy, it was Confederacy. Yeah, John posted a picture. But it kept going back and forth, and we'll just say it was the hub of activity during the Civil War.
Hub of activity, great place. And it was the birthplace of Dinah Shore, and also
Patsy Cline.
And Patsy Cline.
And one more thing, I mean, there was Revolutionary War activity too. It was kind of south, but it was still happening. And George Washington I love George Washington.
Right? Yeah. Well, we went to the pub.
Yep, went to the pub.
Was that your one more thing? You have one more thing to say other than hi?
Well, just want to thank our friends for watching, and whenever you have any ideas, we appreciate your support, and we love to hear them. I love to hear them. And sorry about the drive, but it was really our only way to do it.
Did you leave your glasses on the whole time?
Yes. We know it.
Very, very like spy versus spy, right? Woo-hoo-hoo. But thank you for joining us. We appreciate it, and hope you...
always have fun.
We don't plan on doing it this way, and if I get in trouble for doing this, then it's my own fault. I think it's legal to talk into a dash cam. I'm not sure, but I'm sure someone with a badge will tell me.
Well, it's good for it to be ending now because it just started raining. So anyway, stay dry, stay safe. We love you, and we'll see you.
Stay dry, stay safe, stay free, and stay proud to live in the greatest country in the history of countries.
USA.
That's right, USA. Oh, I'm going to do, personally, ending it with, I'm going to do a preemptive strike on the a boycott of the Academy Awards, because I think the Grammys just kind of messed up, and that's it. That's all I got. I'm not saying why. I'm not saying anything. You guys and girls take care. This has been Drinks with John
and Dee Dee.
She fell for it.
Cheers.
Bye.